Elian warmed the ember line before the frozen dawn bell. Snow filled streets up to the abandoned second floors. Families crowded the platform carrying blankets instead of luggage. The sun had remained a pale circle for 13 winters. Coal reserves would keep the city alive 3 more weeks. A geothermal valley had offered shelter beyond the northern range. Reaching it required crossing 600 kilometers of dead railway. Elian checked every coupling with his mechanical left glove. He promised the engine one final journey through winter. Noah arrived escorting children from the collapsing hospital. Behind them, workers rolled a sealed copper heat core. The valley needed that core to restart its deep pumps. Commander Rusk demanded the core remain inside the capital. He controlled the fortress furnaces and most remaining coal. Noah produced an evacuation charter signed by district elders. Rusk tore the public copy while guards closed platform gates. Elian released steam and drove through the barricade. The ember line entered suburbs buried beneath blue ice. Jorik, the old railmaster, unfolded hand-drawn track charts. Elian distrusted repairs nobody had officially inspected. Their first signal post showed a green lantern burning. Someone had lit it only minutes before their arrival. A rail charge exploded beneath the empty freight car. Elian braked before the damaged axle left the track. Passengers formed a windbreak around Jorik's repair crew. Elian found a black fortress seal inside the charge casing. Rusk had sent riders along the parallel maintenance road. Jorik replaced the axle pin using a signal lever. The train moved again before the riders reached them. Noah questioned why Rusk wanted everyone trapped behind. Elian believed empty districts would expose his coal hoarding. Jorik suspected the heat core mattered even more. The railway entered a tunnel sealed by wind-blown ice. Elian rammed the first drift at reduced speed. The locomotive stopped beneath a ceiling of blue icicles. Coal smoke backed through vents into passenger carriages. Jorik discovered the tunnel exhaust shaft had collapsed. Elian climbed above the boiler with a short iron shovel. He broke an opening while steam burned his sleeves. Passengers shoveled ice forward through the engine hatch. The ember line burst from the tunnel before oxygen vanished. Jorik organized saw teams from carpenters and former soldiers. Elian heard distant whistles answering the locomotive. A hidden settlement emerged from snow-buried freight sheds. Its residents called themselves the Lantern Trackers. They maintained rails in exchange for passage and medicine. Their leader showed children sick from furnace fumes. Noah treated them while Elian shared spare coal bricks. The trackers warned that Rusk controlled the northern bridge. He had promised them coal for delaying the train. They refused after learning families filled every carriage. Tracker scouts guided Emberline along an unused logging spur. The spur ended before a canyon covered in white fog. An unfinished trestle crossed only half the distance. Jorik found stacked rails beneath the nearby logging camp. Passengers built the missing span through the entire night. Elian used locomotive steam to thaw frozen bolt. Rusk's riders appeared as the final rail locked. The trackers lit decoy lanterns across the opposite ridge. Most riders followed the false signals into deep snow. Emberline crossed while the new trestle groaned beneath it. The last carriage cleared seconds before a support snapped. Rusk reached the canyon edge and fired a warning flare. Its red light revealed an armored snow engine behind him. The fortress engine began pursuing them across parallel tracks. Elian increased pressure beyond the boiler's safety markings. Noah discovered the copper core was warming unexpectedly. A hidden control valve had been opened before departure. The core would vent useless heat unless resealed quickly. Elian crawled beneath the moving flat car carrying the core. Noah lowered tools through gaps between the wooden planks. Elian closed the valve using his mechanical glove. The effort jammed 2 fingers and locked the glove shut. Rusk's engine drew alongside the rear passenger car. Guards threw hooks across and began boarding. Jorik uncoupled an empty maintenance wagon between trains. The loose wagon derailed and blocked the parallel line. Rusk survived but lost his armored locomotive. He continued pursuit with a smaller group on sleds. The Emberline approached the Whitebone Bridge at midnight. Avalanche debris had buried its western support tower. Jorik said the train could cross only in sections. Elian separated carriages and moved refugees across gradually. Noah stayed with patients inside the heaviest medical car. The bridge shifted when that carriage reached the center. Elian reversed the locomotive and pulled against the collapse. Jorik climbed beneath the deck to secure a chain. Rusk's sled team appeared on the buried western approach. He offered passage if Noah surrendered the heat core. Passengers refused before Elian could answer him. Tracker archers cut the sled harnesses without harming riders. Jorik secured the chain as another support cracked. The medical carriage reached safety during the final tremor. Whitebone Bridge collapsed after the locomotive crossed alone. The geothermal valley lights appeared beyond the eastern pass. A wall of engineered snow blocked the final descent. Rusk had ordered valley agents to seal the railway. Noah discovered those agents had also poisoned the pump controls. Elian used the copper core to power a rail heater. Meltwater carved a narrow channel through the barrier. The Emberline descended with brakes glowing orange. Valley workers opened the station before impact. Rusk arrived on foot and demanded emergency command. Noah presented the sabotage valve and fortress seal. Jorik displayed witness statements from trackers and passengers. Rusk's remaining guards refused to arrest exhausted refugees. Engineers lowered the copper core into the geothermal chamber. Deep pumps awakened beneath layers of ancient ice. Warm water reached shelters throughout the valley. Elian dismantled fortress locks from the fuel depots. Noah converted the station into a public winter hospital. Jorik organized permanent crews along the restored railway. Lantern trackers received workshops beside every mountain tunnel. The Emberline carried coal outward and families inward. No district could hoard heat without public inspection. Elian repaired his glove beside the quiet locomotive. Children painted small lanterns on the passenger carriages. Winter remained endless, but isolation finally ended. The last train became the first line connecting survivors. Shared warmth carried them farther than guarded coal ever could. Elias repaired the final locomotive inside an ash-filled station. Survivors believed a clean northern refuge still existed. The armored engine pulled 8 battered passenger cars. Refugees traded food for seats aboard the final train. A doctor boarded carrying medicine and patient records. A silent boy carried a wooden train beside Elias. Mercenaries guarded the remaining fuel supplies. A polite passenger helped elderly refugees board. The station commander ordered departure before the ash storm. The steel gate closed behind them permanently. The train passed districts emptied of all life. Elias heard an unfamiliar vibration within the engine. The silent boy drew a broken railway line. The doctor concealed documents from the mercenaries. Elias discovered fuel levels below the recorded amount. Mercenaries accused refugees of stealing the missing fuel. Elias sealed the fuel car and began investigating. Oily footprints led from fuel storage toward passenger cars. The trail ended beside the polite passenger's seat. The passenger denied everything with unsettling calm. The train reached a damaged steel bridge. Elias found the brake lines deliberately severed. He climbed the roof to repair brakes in motion. Ash wind struck Elias across the shaking cars. The boy pointed toward a shadow following Elias. A masked saboteur tried throwing Elias from the roof. The doctor secured a rope and saved Elias. Elias restored braking before the broken bridge section. The locomotive stopped meters from the collapsed bridge. They repaired a side route through an abandoned factory. Signal smoke revealed raiders tracking the train. Mercenaries fortified the rear cars. Several families begged to leave before the attack. Elias warned the exterior wasteland offered no shelter. A hidden radio transmitted from a passenger car. The polite passenger was contacting the raiders. He promised the train for his family's safety. The mercenaries demanded immediate punishment. Elias learned the raiders held many survivors hostage. Elias transmitted a false location to mislead the raiders. The train entered a long tunnel without ventilation. Engine smoke entered the cars and weakened passengers. The doctor used medicine reserved for the northern refuge. Elias saw records stating the northern refuge had closed. She knew the destination had failed months earlier. Authorities used the train to empty the underground station. He realized everyone was traveling toward a false sanctuary. The silent boy drew a green valley on an abandoned line. His mother once lived at a hidden farm. Elias chose to search for the forgotten branch line. Raiders blocked the tunnel exit with armored vehicles. Elias offered the traitor in exchange for hostages. The traitor begged for a chance to save his family. He revealed the armored blockade's weakest point. The locomotive accelerated through the dark tunnel. The train forced the blockade aside without derailing. Freed hostages boarded the remaining empty cars. The traitor found his family among the rescued. Raider railcars pursued the escaping train. The train reached the final bridge above a deep ravine. Elias discovered explosives beneath the bridge. The boy noticed a trigger wire entering the rear car. The traitor stayed behind to cut the trigger line. Elias detached the rear car before detonation. The train crossed as the bridge's far end collapsed. Elias told passengers the northern refuge no longer existed. Passengers accused the doctor and authorities of betrayal. She hid the truth to preserve their final hope. 2 tracks remained northward or toward the unknown valley. Each car sent 1 representative to choose. The boy placed his wooden train upon the valley map. Elias switched the points toward the abandoned branch. The train left the main line for misty mountains. Birds and green shrubs appeared beyond the windows. The train discovered a valley with cooking smoke. Farmers waved white cloth from cultivated fields. Elias stopped at a small functioning station. The silent boy spoke upon recognizing his mother's home. The train cars became clinics and temporary homes. Hope lived not in destinations but in shared choices. Jonas awakened alone inside the concrete gate tower. He had kept the gate closed for 20 years. Central radio repeated orders allowing nobody through. Beyond the gate lay highways and toxic dust. Jonas glimpsed distant greenhouses through narrow windows. He recorded every traveler once denied passage. A weak knocking sounded from the dead zone. Toma arrived carrying his feverish younger sister. He begged Jonas for medicine beyond the wall. Jonas refused because the rules allowed no exceptions. He allowed the children shelter beneath the outer awning. Toma's sister struggled to breathe through the night. Jonas possessed medicine but not enough for recovery. Toma accused Jonas of valuing concrete over human life. Radio announced the gate's destruction within 3 days. A military team was coming to plant explosives. More refugees appeared along the abandoned highway. Jonas reinforced the outer fence against unrest. Toma discovered a service tunnel beneath the checkpoint. Toma asked Jonas to guide him through the tunnel. Jonas remembered losing his family while obeying orders. Jonas agreed to inspect the inner zone. Toma left his sister with an elderly refugee. Jonas opened a tunnel sealed for 20 years. The tunnel air was cleaner but unnaturally silent. They crossed an abandoned decontamination chamber. Dust revealed people had abandoned the safe zone. The inner door opened upon an empty settlement. Greenhouses still held plants without caretakers. Toma found a clinic containing limited medicine. Jonas learned the residents evacuated 10 years earlier. Official reports falsely described the zone as active. Contaminated water forced everyone to abandon the zone. Several sealed medicines remained usable. Toma hurried back toward his weakening sister. Jonas discovered a repairable water filtration system. The settlement could recover if water lines returned. Radio reported the demolition unit approaching. Jonas and Toma carried medicine through the tunnel. The medicine lowered her fever and restored breathing. Hundreds of refugees gathered beyond the fence. Jonas noticed armed men hiding among civilians. Toma separated families from the armed raiders. Central armored vehicles arrived at the gate. The commander ordered Jonas to surrender the keys. Jonas refused because the inner settlement could recover. Engineers attached explosives to the gate supports. Refugees realized the gate would soon disappear forever. Jonas broadcast the truth about the abandoned zone. Several soldiers refused to trap the refugees. The commander threatened anyone resisting the order. Toma opened a side passage for family. Armed raiders exploited the confusion and advanced. Jonas forced the raiders to surrender weapons. Several soldiers protected refugees from their commander. The explosives had only minutes before detonation. Jonas and Toma searched beneath the gate supports. The trigger could only be disabled from the radio room. Jonas raced toward the tower control room. The commander blocked Jonas upon the metal stairs. Toma trapped the commander behind a steel barrier. Jonas cut the circuit seconds before detonation. The concrete gate shook but remained standing. Jonas turned the keys for the first time in decades. The enormous concrete doors slowly separated. The refugees saw empty streets and surviving greenhouses. Jonas ordered controlled entry by small groups. Toma and refugee doctors distributed medicine fairly. Skilled refugees began repairing the filtration system. The abandoned zone became a genuine settlement. Jonas left the tower and surrendered the keys. He read the names of those once denied entry. Toma planted a sapling beside the concrete wall. His sister recovered and ran beneath greenhouse light. The defecting soldiers became community guardians. Jonas rested before the permanently opened gate. The restored greenhouses produced their first vegetable harvest. Central Radio became a community-operated communication channel. Jonas hung his old rifle inside the tower permanently. A gate matters only when people retain the choice. Kalen mapped rooftops disappearing beneath another silent ashfall. His charcoal compass marked structures strong enough for crossing. Every step left a black footprint across abandoned skylights. The buried streets had not seen daylight for 12 years. Surface families survived inside towers joined by canvas tunnels. Filter cartridges mattered more than coins or inherited titles. Callan traded updated maps for water and clean breathing cloth. A warm draft rose through a crack near the old courthouse. The air carried 3 measured knocks from somewhere below. Kalen marked the location before Ash buried it again. Mira intercepted him beside a collapsed public ventilation tower. Her amber goggles reflected the courthouse mark on his map. She demanded to know where he heard the underground signal. Kalen refused until she revealed an engineer's brass token. Mira believed sealed subway shelters still contained survivors. Official records claimed every lower refuge had suffocated. Her father had designed emergency bellows beneath the central station. The system could function if 3 intake shafts reopened. Warden Soar had forbidden all excavation near buried districts. Kalen agreed to guide Mira through forgotten service routes. They entered a hotel through windows level with the ash. Inside, chandeliers hung inches above the hardened gray surface. Kalen uncovered an elevator shaft behind a sealed kitchen. Mira lowered a lantern that vanished into warm darkness. Fresh rope fibers appeared around the lowest visible pulley. Someone below had recently used the abandoned lifting system. They descended while Ash whispered through cracks overhead. A blocked landing forced them into flooded laundry pipes. Mira found handprints pressed into still damp soot. The underground signal repeated, weaker but unmistakably human. Their first intake shaft lay beneath the old theater. Its fan blades were fused by volcanic glass. Kalen wedged map boards between gears to hold them steady. Mira chipped glass away using a narrow masonry hammer. A sudden pressure burst filled the theater with black dust. They covered their filters and crawled beneath tilted seats. The freed fan released a deep breath through buried ducts. Far below, metal pipes answered with rapid hammering. Mira smiled for the first time since their descent. Kalen realized the official death records had been fabricated. The second intake opened inside a collapsed botanical museum. Dry vines formed brittle webs across the entrance hall. Pale mushrooms glowed along walls warmed by underground pipes. Mira warned their spores could clog every filter membrane. Kalen traced a route through glass display cabinets. A hidden door revealed workers wearing patched respirators. Their leader Torv aimed a mining drill at the strangers. He lowered it after seeing Mira's engineering token. Torv explained 600 people remained beneath the city. Their filters would fail before the next heavy ash storm. Sor's patrols had welded every staircase from above. Underground families recycled air through failing mine bellows. Torv guided them toward the museum's buried intake chamber. Fungal roots had wrapped tightly around the dormant rotor. Workers cut roots while Mira rebuilt the corroded bearings. Kalen climbed inside the shaft to clear compacted ash. The ceiling cracked under the weight of 12 winters. Torv braced the chamber using old exhibit frames. Mira restarted the rotor moments before supports buckled. Clean air rushed downward through the glowing mushroom hall. Children's voices traveled upward inside the reopened duct. Kalen recorded their names on the back of his map. Sore soldiers discovered the opened theater intake at dusk. They followed fresh air currents toward the Botanical Museum. Torv's workers prepared to collapse tunnels behind themselves. Mira refused to bury their only routes back upward. Kalen proposed misleading patrols with false chalk symbols. He redrew 3 passages across unstable ash pockets. Soldiers entered the wrong corridor and triggered a sinkhole. Nobody died, but their equipment vanished beneath powdery debris. Sor announced that underground raiders threatened surface oxygen. Tower residents began guarding their private filter stores. Callan returned briefly and showed families the recorded names. Several recognized relatives declared dead many years earlier. Public anger weakened Sor's control over excavation crews. The third intake stood beneath the fortified ash granary. Sor stored thousands of unused cartridges inside its upper vaults. He rationed them to secure obedience from tower districts. Opening the intake would expose both survivors and hidden supplies. Mira designed a route through the granary's heating channels. Torv assembled a climbing team from underground maintenance workers. Kalen mapped every guard rotation using chimney reflections. They entered during a shift change beneath falling cinders. Rows of sealed filters filled rooms larger than markets. Mira discovered orders forbidding distribution to buried citizens. Sor arrived wearing a polished respirator and stone armor. He claimed the surface could not support another population. Torv answered that underground workers had powered surface towers. Kalen projected his map through a lantern onto the wall. The routes proved both communities already shared one air system. Sor ordered guards to smash the final intake controls. Mira locked herself inside the mechanical chamber. Kalen and Torv defended the doorway with collapsed grain carts. Surface families surrounded the granary demanding released filters. Guards hesitated when their own relatives shouted underground names. Sor attempted sealing the main chimney with explosive ash charges. Kellen climbed the exterior as the granary walls trembled. He cut the charge cables using his compass blade. Inside, Mira restored power to the central bellows. The third intake opened with a roar beneath Sor's feet. Air pressure burst every false wall hiding the cartridges. Crowds saw the stockpile and understood years of deception. Torv distributed filters between surface and underground families. Sor lost command when his patrol captains opened the vaults. The approaching ash storm turned noon into immediate darkness. Mira synchronized all 3 intakes from the central station. Kalen guided tower residents toward reinforced subway entrances. Underground workers raised lantern lines through reopened stairwells. Families met relatives separated since the original eruption. The storm buried several towers but spared the crowded shelters. Central bellows pushed breathable air throughout the long night. Morning arrived as a dim silver glow through vents. Kalen replaced secret route marks with public maps. Mira trained apprentices from both levels to service machinery. The granary became a shared storehouse for filters and grain. Children painted family symbols beside every reopened staircase. Surface gardens used warm exhaust from the underground pipes. Underground halls received daylight through mirrored ventilation shafts. Kalen's newest map showed one city instead of two. Breath returned when nobody claimed ownership over the air. Mail crossed rooftops joined by fragile wooden bridges. He traded batteries and medicine for food among rooftop settlements. Seawater covered the city's lower floors. A client gave Mail an unmarked letter. The letter contained coordinates to an abandoned tower. Mail nearly fell when a rope bridge snapped. He found muddy footprints and real green leaves. A vine-covered steel door appeared behind the wall. Mail entered a green garden above the gray ruins. Iria aimed a handmade crossbow and ordered him away. The letter had been written for Iria herself. Iria recognized handwriting from her long-dead father. She showed Mail a case of original seeds. The garden held the last soil untouched by salt. Iria said the council wanted monopoly over the seeds. Mail discovered a tracker hidden inside his delivery bag. He remembered delivering supplies to patrols near this place. Iria believed Mail had exposed the garden. A patrol drone appeared above the foggy rooftops. They decided to evacuate the seeds immediately. Mail guided Iria through his hidden delivery route. Rooftop patrols blocked the bridge ahead. Mail chose a route across a leaning crane. Sea winds nearly tore the seed case away. Mail secured Iria and the seeds with his climbing hook. They entered a hospital with only upper floors above water. Iria needed preservation fluid from the locked pharmacy. A surge pushed seawater into hospital corridors. Mail forced the pharmacy door before the flood arrived. They found one sealed bottle of preservation fluid. The patrol drone illuminated the hospital windows. Ria disabled the drone with her crossbow. City speakers branded Mail and Iria as saboteur. Rooftop communities refused them shelter. An old rigger named Oren hid them inside his workshop. Oren revealed the council already knew about the garden. The tracker only confirmed a location already suspected. They needed the final suspension bridge toward the mainland. The council fortified the bridge with armed patrols. Oran suggested crossing through a collapsing tower. They climbed the leaning floors through violent winds. They found remnants of families lost before the floods. Iria doubted the seeds could heal such ruin. Mail said a right choice still mattered when delayed. The tower roof cracked and began collapsing. Mail swung Iria across the widening gap. The seed case slipped toward a lower floor. Mail returned inside the collapsing tower. Iria held the rope while Mail climbed with the seeds. They escaped as the tower collapsed into the sea. Council soldiers surrounded the final bridge approach. The rooftop communities began supporting Iria. Oran revealed documents proving the council's planned monopoly. Citizens opened a path toward the bridge. The council leader arrived with elite guards. The leader reminded Mail of his past deliveries. Mail admitted his guilt and rejected further obedience. Iria distributed small seed packets among rooftop communities. The council's monopoly failed once the seeds were shared. Patrol soldiers lowered weapons for their hungry families. Citizens lowered the final bridge toward the mainland. The old bridge shook beneath the moving crowd. Mail remained behind to secure the anchor lines. The leader tried cutting the bridge anchor. Iria blocked the blade and protected the anchor. Mail locked the bridge mechanism and ran across. The bridge fell after the final survivor crossed. The survivors faced salt fields and lifeless soil. Iria chose high ground containing darker soil. Mail found a weak freshwater pipe beneath the ground. The community repaired pipes and prepared planting beds. Iria planted the original seeds beneath the fog. Days passed without any visible change. Mail feared his redemption had come too late. Iria continued watering the soil with precious drops. A green shoot emerged through the gray soil. New garden beds began greening the elevated ground. The drowned city remained a gray island behind them. Mail repurposed his delivery bag for soil and seeds. Hope survives when shared instead of hidden.
Leo survived beneath the sky that hid the true sun. Rovan repaired generators inside the city's lowest district. Paul watched white light shining from the upper levels. Enormous pipes crossed homes like metallic veins. The Helios patrols inspected every household's power allowance. Vera fled through the dark market pursued by patrols. Rovan hid her inside a broken machine storage room. Sarah carried a data core stolen from restricted levels. She claimed the reactor did not create energy. Rovan dismissed her as a reckless troublemaker. The core revealed energy flowing from poor districts. The children were removed from families for supposed medical testing. Resident records vanished after every nighttime relocation. Owen remembered his nephew lost to the maintenance program. He agreed to guide Sarah through forbidden maintenance tunnels. They used an old technician card to cross the middle gate. Their filters worked fully only for the upper districts. Workers labored beneath harsh blue industrial lights. Sarah revealed chambers draining energy from sleeping citizens. Rowan found his nephew's code upon an empty chamber. The patrols detected the stolen data core's activation. They fled through shaking energy conduits. A narrow service bridge collapsed behind them. They reached a hall filled with sleeping children. Sarah found her younger sister inside an energy pod. Owen cut local power and opened the chambers. Workers carried the weakened children away. Workers realized their lives powered the upper city. Sarah broadcast the evidence across industrial screens. The rulers sealed every lift toward the Bright District. Owen restarted an unregistered cargo lift. They ascended while city levels lost power. The upper square displayed plastic trees and a false blue sky. Upper residents experienced true darkness for the first time. Elite guards surrounded the cargo lift. Vaughn released steam and concealed their escape. Sarah entered the tower controlling Helios. The council claimed the reactor was Helios's only survival. They justified sacrificing the lower districts. Loven said such a city was already dead. They descended to the chamber containing the reactor core. Thousands of conduits linked the core to human chambers. Sarah planned to destroy the reactor immediately. Ovan warned a sudden shutdown would kill thousands. They chose to redirect power toward abandoned wind systems. Rovan remembered turbines abandoned by the council. They climbed the tower while guards pursued them. Ash winds battered the motionless rooftop turbines. Owen restarted the first turbine with worn tools. Sarah called workers to restart every remaining turbine. The citizens across Helios turned machinery together. The turbines produced a small but steady power flow. The council member tried disabling the new grid. Sarah's sister used an access code to stop him. The old core overloaded as human chambers disconnected. Rovan returned below to stabilize pressure valves. She returned while the control tower began collapsing. Ravon repaired valves while Sarah redirected new power. The white reactor faded without exploding. The Helios entered complete darkness for several minutes. The small household lights returned through turbine power. The artificial sky above the square went dark. The ash thinned and citizens saw natural light. Citizens arrested the leaders who maintained exploitation. But every remaining resident was freed from the chambers. Owen found his nephew alive but weakened. Rovon embraced the child he believed dead. The sisters watched the changing city together. Upper districts shared clean air and stored food. The former laborers managed the new power grid. Helios became darker but fairer and more honest. Owen reopened his workshop for every district. Sarah told the truth beneath the open sky. Children planted real seeds in reclaimed soil. A green sprout emerged beneath the ash sun. Flour was no longer rationed according to wealth or district. The engineers and residents elected an open council to manage Helios. Rovin's nephew began learning turbine repair inside the workshop. The natural sunlight entered the workshop for the first time. The city survives only when nobody becomes its fuel.
Darian heard Ravenna still possessed one uncontaminated water tower. Mila shared the final drops with Darian across the wasteland. They found many footprints leading toward the ruins of Ravenna. A broken warning sign forbade outsiders from approaching the water. A dust storm forced them inside an abandoned bus. Inside the bus, Mila discovered an old pipeline map. At night, guard lights appeared upon the distant tower. A dying survivor warned that valve keepers ruled Ravenna. Darian promised to take only enough water and leave. Mila saw the city and knew they could not ignore it. They entered Ravenna beneath suspicious guards and broken walls. Citizens waited silently before a single dripping pipe. A family surrendered valuables for one bottle of water. The valve keepers patrolled with enormous metal keys. Mila spotted children imprisoned behind a steel fence. Darian pulled Mila away before guards noticed them. They sheltered inside a basement filled with thirsty residents. A mother begged Darian to find her captive son. Darian realized water had become the city's instrument of control. Mila convinced Darian to seek a route into the tower. They entered an abandoned pipeline beneath the slums. Mila found clean water leaking uselessly through a cracked valve. Darian recognized his former military unit's symbol. He realized the leader was the comrade who betrayed him. A locked steel gate blocked the route toward the tower. Mila used thin wire to open the damaged mechanism. An old sensor alarmed the guards below. They hid inside an empty reservoir as guards passed. Mila heard children crying behind a sealed chamber. Darian opened the grate and discovered the captive children. Mila recognized the boy described by his mother. Darian decided to free the children before seeking water. A young guard hesitated after seeing Darian protect the children. The guard secretly revealed a bridge leading upward. The Valve Keeper leader blocked them at the bridge. The former soldiers recognized each other beneath dusty lights. The leader claimed water control was necessary for order. Darian called thirst-based order another form of slavery. Mila guided the children through a maintenance passage. Guards discovered them and rushed onto the bridge. The rusted bridge shook while Darian delayed the guards. Mila dropped a steel grate across the passage. They climbed the tower's exposed spiral staircase. Hot winds shook every exposed metal step. A major pipe burst and sprayed clean water out. Below, Ravenna's citizens saw free water for the first time. Several guards abandoned the chase to help citizens collect water. Darian reached a pump room filled with locked valves. Mila used the old map to restart an auxiliary pump. They discovered enough water to sustain Ravenna for months. The central valve required the leader's unique key. The betrayer reached the pump room with loyal guards. Darian fought his former comrade among shaking pipes. Mila secretly took the key from the leader's belt. She opened the valve and flooded Ravenna's distribution network. Old pipes shook violently under the returning pressure. Darian had to save the betrayer or escape alone. He pulled his former comrade away from the gears. The defeated leader ordered every remaining valve opened. Dry fountains suddenly released water across the city. Citizens broke the fences and freed every remaining captive. The guards removed badges and surrendered the keys. Crowds surged forward and damaged several fragile pipes. Darian organized fair distribution zones throughout Ravenna. Mila led children in marking damaged water lines. The mother finally embraced her missing son. The former leader surrendered the central key publicly. Darian gave the key to a newly chosen council. Mila planted seeds beside the restored water flow. The first green shoots appeared beside repaired pipelines. The citizens asked Darian and Mila to remain. He looked toward wastelands where others still needed help. Mila proposed carrying the pipeline map to other cities. Darian filled the bottle that had once been empty. Ravenna opened its gates for their departure. They departed as the water tower shone at sunrise. Citizens formed a rotating council to prevent another water monopoly. Darian repaired the final pump before leaving the city. Mila copied the pipeline map for Ravenna's repair crews. In a dead world, water mattered only when shared. Darren crossed antenna roofs while thunder rolled beyond the walls. His courier satchel carried barometers between isolated weather districts. Citizens trusted colored storm lamps more than frightened officials. That morning, every warning lamp remained strangely dark. A shattered forecast capsule landed beside Darren's boots. Inside, a needle pointed toward impossible atmospheric pressure. The capsule bore markings from the abandoned mountain station. Darren remembered delivering sealed orders there years earlier. A distant cloud flashed like broken glass under sunlight. He left the city before officials closed every gate. Wind ladders twisted above canyons filled with ruined turbines. Darren followed old maintenance marks carved into iron pylons. Static sparks crawled across his coat and climbing hooks. A collapsed walkway forced him onto the exposed signal cables. The mountain station appeared inside a ring of black clouds. Its weather vanes still turned despite years of silence. A warning bolt struck the railing beside his hand. Sella emerged wearing a faded teal forecasting cloak. She accused Darren of bringing the authorities hunters. He answered by showing the shattered forecast capsule. Sela recognized the pressure reading and lowered her weapon. She led Darren through halls packed with analog instruments. Dusty drums recorded wind patterns from forgotten decades. A living storm map pulsed beneath cracked glass panels. Sela called the approaching system a glass cyclone. Its airborne crystals could strip roofs within minutes. The cyclone would reach the lower city in 3 days. Official broadcasts predicted only ordinary seasonal winds. Someone had severed the station from every public relay. Sela needed Darren's roots to reconnect the warning network. Their first relay stood beyond a forest of lightning rods. Each metal trunk attracted blue fire from the clouds. Darren timed their movement between repeating electrical bursts. Sela carried a copper coil wrapped in insulating cloth. A fallen rod blocked the narrow path across the ridge. Darren anchored his hook while Sela crawled beneath sparks. They reached a relay cabin split by old lightning damage. Its receiver still contained the authorities' fresh sealing wax. The sabotage had happened recently, not during the collapse. Sela repaired the coil as Darren watched the storm line. The relay awakened with a low mechanical heartbeat. A brief signal reached several distant rooftop settlements. Then authority jammers buried the warning beneath white noise. Darren realized officials were actively suppressing the forecast. Sela found coded maintenance orders bearing Director Vale's seal. The orders commanded crews to disable all independent instruments. Darren confessed he once delivered similar sealed packets. Sela blamed him for helping blind the entire region. He accepted her anger and repaired the damaged antenna. Their second relay waited inside the abandoned wind farm. Tower blades rotated unpredictably through the narrow access road. Bran, an aging mechanic, guarded the farm's central workshop. He distrusted Sela but recognized Darren's old courier badge. Bran revealed workers had vanished after questioning false forecasts. He had hidden their repair tools beneath turbine foundations. Together, they climbed a tower bending under crosswinds. A seized gearbox prevented the antenna from facing north. Bran entered the blade housing while metal groaned around him. Darren locked the brake using his climbing bar. Sela realigned the dish seconds before the brake failed. The second relay transmitted the cyclone's crystal density. People began covering windows with salvaged metal shutters. Authority patrol gliders descended between the turbine towers. Vale's guards demanded Sela surrender the weather records. Bran released a turbine brake, scattering the gliders. The three escaped through maintenance tunnels beneath the farm. City speakers accused them of inventing a panic storm. Darren heard his own name listed among wanted saboteurs. Several settlements extinguished their lamps to avoid punishment. Others flashed hidden mirrors, signaling belief in Sela's warning. Bran explained why Vale needed the forecast suppressed. The Authority controlled shelters, filters, and emergency oxygen. A surprise disaster would make desperate citizens completely dependent. Vale planned to exchange shelter access for lifelong labor. Sela wanted to expose the scheme before repairing anything else. Darren argued warnings mattered more than proving their innocence. Bran forced them to choose both truth and survival. The final relay stood on a cliff above frozen clouds. Its access bridge had been removed by Authority engineers. Darren fired a cable across the empty mountain gap. Sela crossed first with the master forecast cylinder. Ice formed rapidly along the cable beneath her hands. A gust slammed her against the cliff face. Darren descended below the cable and steadied her boots. They entered the relay through a shattered observation window. Inside, Vale waited beside a portable signal jammer. He offered Darren amnesty and a protected shelter berth. Darren crushed his old courier badge beneath his boot. Sela connected the master cylinder while guards advanced. Bran activated the remote turbines across the valley. Their synchronized blades amplified the relay's weak transmission. Every storm lamp in the region suddenly burned violet. The public heard Vale's orders alongside Sela's forecast. Shelter workers unlocked doors without awaiting official permission. Neighborhood crews secured roofs, vents, and water tanks. Vale tried destroying the relay's rotating signal drum. Darren blocked him while the cliff shook violently. Sela completed the broadcast before Crystal Rain began. Bran guided both of them into an underground instrument vault. The glass cyclone struck with a scream of shattered stone. Crystal wind peeled antennas from the mountain station. The vault doors bowed but held through the night. Below, reinforced districts survived the first violent passage. Unprepared Authority warehouses lost their guarded emergency stockpiles. Vale's guards abandoned him when shelter families were threatened. Morning revealed rooftops scarred yet crowded with survivors. Sela rebuilt the station using instruments from every district. Bran trained young mechanics to maintain the public relays. Darren carried forecasts instead of secret government orders. No single office controlled the warning lamps again. Each settlement kept independent barometers and shared readings openly. Children learned cloud shapes inside the repaired observation hall. The mountain station became a commons above the storms. Darren finally understood what accurate delivery truly meant. Warnings saved lives only when everyone received them freely. Independent weather circles formed across the surviving mountain towns. Damaged districts exchanged repair crews instead of demanding payment. Sela published every storm cycle without sealed classifications. Darren repaired the capsule that first changed his route. Truth became their strongest shelter against the changing sky.